I, too, have been a wanderer, you know. Originally, I hail from Helm. Not this Helm, the other Helm, the real Helm. Living in the real Helm was not good enough for Schmendrick, you know. So one morning, I woke up before my wife and children, health and joy to them wherever they are. And I started out for Warsaw. I wanted to see the big city. In the middle of the afternoon, I got tired. So I went to take a nap by the roadside. In order so that I wouldn't forget which way I was going, I took off my boots and I placed them by the roadside. One pointing in the direction I was going, the other pointing in the direction I came from. After a while, I woke up, refreshed. I stepped into my boots, I laced them up where they stood, and I continued on my journey. And wonder of wonders, after a while, I came upon a village that looked a great deal like Helm. The closer I got, the more like Helm it looked. Tree for tree, flower for flower. Every blade of grass looked familiar. My friends, you ever have that strange feeling that what you're experiencing has happened exactly like this a long time ago? It was the strangest feeling. I walked down the street as if in a dream. It was Helm all over again. And the people I saw, each one, looked exactly like someone I knew back home in my Helm. There was a rabbi like Oz. Here is Zisya, there a Meshalem. I turned up a lane that was just like my lane. On it was a house that was board for board, like my house. Even the paint was peeling in the exact same places. The chickens in the yard had familiar feathers, reminiscent clucks. This was beginning to be frightening. I mean, what if I walked in and saw myself, Schmendrick, sitting there in the kitchen? What would we say to each other? So I hesitated on the stoop. And out came a woman who looked exactly like my wife Shana, wart for wart. And she screamed at me, hitting notes I thought only my own dear Shana could reach. And the children, they were brat for brat like my own children, kvetching, sniveling, squabbling, just like my own dear children. The only thing missing from this astonishing household was Schmendrick. There, Schmendrick was nowhere to be seen. You see, he had left his house and his Helm that same morning. I believe it was more than a coincidence. I believe it was the hand of God in this, or perhaps the elbow, who understands these things. Because you see, their Schmendrick never came back. And so, I moved in. After a while, I missed my wife and children at first. After a while, these children started calling me Daddy. I guess I reminded them of their own father. And this other Shana, well, you don't want I should go into details. But I worry, you know. What if this other Schmendrick should ever come home? Things could get complicated. But you know, I have my own personal theory that he wound up just like me. That currently he is in my Helm, living with my wife, the adulterous dog, may he contract the Czar's disease, worrying about whether or not I should ever come home. And why don't I? Well, there is a very simple answer. Why should I? You see, I am a practical man, my friends. If this Helm is exactly like the Helm I came from, why should I walk my feet off to get to where I practically already am?
The Talmud tells us, does it not, that everywhere in the world is exactly the same. I mean, who can say? What if every village is exactly like this village? Cow for cow, flour for flour. Who knows? Perhaps everywhere in the world, perhaps this whole world, is one enormous hell. No?